Have you ever watched an empire die? Not the sanitized version in history books, but the real, visceral death of a world power. The kind where you can smell the decay in the marble halls and taste the fear in the water supply. Rome didn't fall in a day. It died slowly, like a man bleeding out from 1,000 cuts, each wound inflicted not just by barbarian swords, but by something darker, something that had been growing in the empire's shadow since the day Constantine saw his cross in the sky. Stay with me. You're about to learn why some empires don't just fall. They're dragged down by forces they themselves unleashed. Picture Rome in the twilight years of the 4th century AD. The eternal city isn't so eternal anymore. The marble is cracking, the aqueducts leak, and in the forum, senators debate in empty halls while rats scurry between their feet. But it's not just physical decay that's eating away at the empire. Something else is happening, something that started when Constantine made his fateful choice to embrace a god who preached peace in an empire built on war. Here's where it gets dark. The old gods aren't going quietly. In temples abandoned to dust and cobwebs, the statues of Jupiter and Mars weep blood at midnight. Oracle bones cast into sacred fires spell out warnings that no one remembers how to read. The Vestal Virgin's eternal flame flickers and dies, no matter how many times it's relit, as if the very spirit of Rome is guttering like a candle in a tomb. The shadows deepen. Constantine's vision of a cross in the sky. The chroniclers don't mention what else he saw that day. The darker shapes that writhed behind the holy symbol. The whispers that spoke of power and transformation. When he moved the capital to Constantinople, he wasn't just shifting the seat of empire east. He was running from something that had taken root in Rome's ancient hills. But wait, there's more. The barbarians at the gates aren't just tribes seeking land and gold. They're drawn by something else, something that pulses in the earth beneath Rome like a dying heartbeat. The Visigoths, the Vandals, the Huns, they all speak of dreams that guide them toward the city, of voices that promise them glory if they just push a little harder, strike a little deeper. Now, for the truly terrifying part. By 376 AD, the empire is hemorrhaging power like a gladiator with a severed artery. But it's not just territory being lost. Something older is bleeding out too. The magic that once protected Rome, bound to the old gods and ancient rites, is unraveling. Each abandoned temple, each converted shrine, each Christian cross raised over a pagan altar sends another tremor through the invisible web of power that had held the empire together for centuries. The horror builds. In the catacombs beneath the city, Christians pray to their new god, their voices echoing through tunnels where older, darker faiths once held sway. But something else echoes back, something that remembers. When Rome worshipped gods who demanded blood and victory, not mercy and peace. The early Christians spoke of casting out demons, but what if those demons were the very forces that had made Rome great? Here comes the darkness. When Alaric and his Visigoths finally breached the walls in 410 AD, it's not just the end of Rome's invincibility, it's the culmination of a curse that began the day Constantine turned his back on the old gods. The sack of Rome isn't just a military defeat, it's a supernatural perfect storm, where every abandoned god, every broken oath, every forsaken ritual comes back to claim its due. The prophecy fulfills itself. By 476 AD, when the last emperor, Romulus Augustulus, a child playing at power, is deposed, the true horror isn't the fall of an empire. It's the realization that Rome had been dead for decades, perhaps centuries. The empire walking around after Constantine, was just a corpse, animated by momentum and bureaucracy, its soul already fled to the east with its capital. The ghosts remain. In Constantinople, Constantine's new Rome lives on for another 1,000 years, but it's a different kind of empire, one built on Greek fire and Christian prayers rather than Roman iron and pagan blood. The old magic that built Rome, that conquered the known world, that raised armies and built roads and created laws, that magic is gone, dispersed like smoke from a doused altar fire. Some say you can still feel it if you walk the ruins of Rome at night, not in the tourist-friendly Colosseum or the restored Forum, but in the forgotten places, the underground temples, the buried shrines. There's a weight to the darkness there, a presence that remembers when Rome was more than just stone and mortar, when it was the center of a web of power that stretched from Britain to Egypt. They say that's why Rome can never be fully excavated, why there are still parts of the ancient city that resist modern exploration. Some things are better left buried, some powers better left dormant. Because what if the fall of Rome wasn't just the end of an empire? What if it was a containment action, a necessary sacrifice to bottle up something that should never have been unleashed? So here's a question to haunt your dreams tonight. When you look at our modern empires, our gleaming cities, and sophisticated technologies, do you ever wonder what price we're paying for our power? What gods we've abandoned? What forces we've unleashed? What bills will eventually come due? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, if you dare. But remember, every empire thinks it's eternal, right up until the moment it isn't. P.S. They say if you stand in the Roman Forum at midnight on the anniversary of the city's fall, you can hear the sound of marching legions in the distance. But don't look for them. Those who do tend to disappear, only to reappear months later, babbling about endless roads and armies that march forever toward a Rome that no longer exists. If you enjoyed this descent into the shadowy depths of Rome's demise, where gods weep blood and empires crumble under the weight of their own hubris, then grab your gladius and join us for more history retold badly. We'll be back with more tales of historical horror, where the facts are as shaky as a Roman emperor's grip on power and the entertainment value is as high as Caligula's bar tab. And hey, while you're pondering the fate of empires and the questionable decisions of emperors, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We need your support to keep those historical fires burning and to pay for our exorcist after delving into the darker corners of ancient Rome. So join us next time, when we'll be exploring Egypt, not again. It's going to be a wild ride, full of historical inaccuracies, questionable jokes, and enough drama to make even the most stoic Roman senator shed a tear, or at least spill their Falernian wine. Stay tuned.